had a total mental breakdown. And so she went to a Pentecostal church and got Spirit-filled. So that really changed our lives, because I remember coming home from a university and there were scriptures every place. And I said to my brother, "What is going on?" He said, "Wait till you hit the bathroom. You haven't hit anything." And she had gotten Spirit-filled, and they said that my father would never come out of the mental hospital. And my mother, full of the Holy Ghost, full of the Word, said, "He'll be out." And he came out in a year, got born again, and totally healed and delivered. So I began to see the process that the Word isn't just something for your brain, it's transformational. So every time you read the Word, it can bring transformation. And that's why you need to be hooked on the book and read it for yourself. You say, "Well, I read books about the Word." That's not cool. Are you mad at me? Put your hand on your heart. Say, "I'm not mad at you. You're too old." So you need to read the Word for yourself. So I began reading it. I began underlining scriptures. I began drawing things by it. I met my husband. He was Spirit-filled. All he wanted to do was go to a Pentecostal church. I didn't want to go. Oh, you know, they're loud. They speak in tongues. But that's the place he'd take me, was to a Pentecostal. So we got engaged. And my mother said to me, "I don't want him to marry you." "Why? Why would you not want that?" She said, "You're not spiritual. You'll ruin him." Well, thanks a lot. You're just my mother. So one night, and he loved to come to our house. He loved my mother's cooking. We're engaged. One night, he said, "I won't be over for dinner. I will be over later." And he came over later. And he said, "I don't know if I'm going to marry you." I am so insulted. How could he say that? You know, I said, "What do you mean you're not going to marry me?" He said, "Well, when I turned on to God, I totally turned on, and you're only half turned on." And he said, "I'm on a fast, and I'm fasting as to whether I should marry you or not." Oh, you know, I am so insulted. I'm born again. That's enough. I read the Bible. Shut up. But the process, look at someone. Say, "Honey, don't forget, there's always a process." And so I had a dream in this time. I'm teaching school, junior high, which is a wild group of kids to teach. So I'm teaching school. I had a dream. And in the dream, I saw that I was going to move to California. I was not going to marry Wallace, you can imagine. And so I said, "Okay, I want what you have for me." And I want you to put your hand on your heart, because this is the most important thing in the world. Say, "I want what he has for me." And so I said, "God, if I never marry Wallace Hickey, I want what you have for me." And I got Spirit-filled. And that was transformational. Now, I'm leading you through a process, but I'm really going to preach a sermon. So get ready. Put your hand on your heart. Say, "I'll be ready." And, you know, I'm failing God. I said, "How could you say that? How could you fail God? We're in church every Sunday night, every Wednesday night. We're in the choir. We do everything." I said, "I know, but I feel like I'm failing God." So he began to fast and pray, and it scared me. I thought, "Oh, God, don't call him. Don't do it. It's not a good idea. He doesn't have a good wife here." And God called him in that time. So we started, well, who would want Wally and Marilyn Hickey to come? And what do they know? Nothing, you know. And so we began contacting little Assembly of God churches, and we always had people saved. Because this is what we said, if we're going to have a meeting, what is the most important thing? To have people saved. So we went door to door. Wally would fast and pray. I would knock doors. And we always had people saved because we went and got them. And so this is part of the what? So look at someone again, say, honey. I would go door to door, and we'd have people saved. And then we were invited to be assistant pastors in the Assembly of God Church in Amarillo, Texas. And my husband would preach some and lead worship and so on. It was a big church. And so they asked me if I would teach Sunday school. Well, I had never taught Sunday school. And I taught Sunday school. They had 22 people. And pretty soon, I saw how the word would work. And we had over 100 people in Sunday school. So at that time, I already liked the word, but I got hooked on the book. I want you to stand up. You say, this is really exercise. This will get the fat out of you. Say, Father, I want to hunger for the word. In the morning, at lunch, and at night, I want to hunger for the word. And that's what began to happen to me. You can be seated. So I taught Sunday school, didn't know how wonderful it would be to teach the word. And then from teaching Sunday school, my husband felt led to go to Denver, which was our original home. And they had a little church, needed a pastor, a little church. We said we would take it for a little while and help them. That was 65 years ago. Process, everybody say, process. So we took that church, but we didn't have lost people coming. And the Lord said, if you want lost people, you have to go get them. They're not going to come to you. Process. So I thought, how can you get lost people? So I started a Bible study for 7 women who weren't born again, and they got born again. And that Bible study began to grow. I had 22 home Bible studies. They said, why don't you go on the radio? So I went on the radio, and then I thought, what about television? So I went to the ABC station in our city and met with the board and said, you know, I'd like to have a Sunday morning television time. Everybody say process. And so they said, well, you're really not television material. Now, folks, stay in faith. People are going to say a lot of things about you. But what does he say about you? What does he say about you? So I thought, Lord, I believe they're going to put me on. And so one man, not a born-again believer, said, I think we should try her. I think she'll pay her bill. Now, let me tell you,